to experience that film in like a theater house for the very first time, you know?
Yeah. And what was awesome was we had shown that for a Comic-Con like a year or two before that. And I remember like watching it then in the theater on the big screen. And then when they had the 30th anniversary re-release, I was super stoked for it because it's like, obviously, one of my favorite movies. I can't wait to go watch it. And, you know, she had never seen it. So we went, saw it. And then, like, 2 or 3 days later was like, I want to go watch it again. Let's go watch it again. So we went and saw it twice in, like, a matter of a few days.
Sometimes you got to do that because you don't know when the next time that, you know, that's going to be available in the format like that, you know?
Exactly.
So why not?
Yeah. If I have a chance to watch one of my favorite movies in the theater on the big screen, I'll go for sure. So yes, Ramis dies 2014. After that, like, Reitman kind of says, you know what, I have no desire to do a third film. It's obvious that Columbia wants a franchise. They kind of feel like, well, we're holding it back by not doing anything with it. So they're able to convince Bill Murray to sell off his rights or creative control to the franchise. They convince him. They negotiate, you know, a handsome deal for everyone involved. Who at that point in time is Reitman, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis' family. So they sell off the rights to Columbia Pictures, so they no longer are involved in it. And then Columbia goes and immediately reboots it. And that's the 2016 Ghostbusters that Paul Feig directed. And honestly, I did not care for, because I don't think it's nearly as funny as it wants to be or thinks it is. And it's a shame because there's 4 very funny women in the leads. Paul Feig is a good comedy director, but it was just overblown. There's way too many effects in it. And, I mean, the movie didn't do well. It had all kinds of fucking trolls, internet trolls, coming out, probably because they were intimidated by women. But, I mean, the movie also cost, like, some god-awful amount of money. It was, like, $150 million to make.
No way. What?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And, you know, the way movies get made and how much money it takes to market them, you know, you have to when you make a movie that costs $150 million, you basically have to make $500 million to make a profit. And it didn't make that. I think it might have made a little over 200 altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end, it's a money loser. But I was kind of just, you know what? The first movie is perfect. It doesn't need any more sequels. It doesn't need any reboots. I honestly don't give a shit about Afterlife, which is supposed to come out later this year. Which is, I should point out, directed by Reitman's son, Jason. Who's, you know, a director on his own who's done Juno and Up in the Air and Young Adult.
All good flicks.
All good flicks, and even Tully is very good, but anything else he's done hasn't been that great. But I think he and Diablo Cody work very well together.
Yep.
And his best movie is Up in the Air.
I just watched that a couple months ago again.
Yeah, I just rewatched it myself not too long ago either. Good movie. But I am not. I don't care. I probably won't go watch it if it's on HBO sometime in the future. Like, maybe I'll check it out. But I'm just not excited for it at all.
I think Paul Rudd is in it.
Paul Rudd, I mean, Carrie Coon, who's great. But I remember, like, when that story kind of broke, and you and James and I were doing an episode, and you guys were asking me about it, and it was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, I don't care. And that was 2-3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, I think I remember that conversation. But I mean, it's
like the story had just broke, or like there was the teaser that had just come out.
Yeah, or maybe the poster of the Ecto-1, like in a cornfield or something like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna shoot you a little piece of trivia. Do you know what movie Paul Rudd shot down to do Afterlife?
No, I do not.
So he was offered a role in Halloween Kills.
Oh, reprising his role from
it says Tommy Doyle. Yeah,
older one.
Because he made his I think it was his very first film in Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh, it's Curse. I thought it was Revenge.
I believe it's...
Yes, that is his first movie.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess since they retconned all of those sequels, they offered him, the chance to reprise his role as Tommy Doyle, and unfortunately he was already he contracted for Afterlife, so he had to pass. But
yeah. Well, hey, I mean, maybe the movie will be successful. Maybe it'll find some new fans.
Well, it's got Finn Wolf is in it from Stranger Things, I think, too.
Yeah, he's Carrie Coon's son. I forget who the girl is. I forget what movie she's been in. I don't know. Not into it. Probably won't watch it. That's me being old and grumpy and being like, don't mess with the good thing. Even if, it kind of seems like it's a direct sequel. Only 30 years later.
Yeah.
Because I think they do make a reference to New York. I mean, it's Ivan Reitman's best movie. I mean, Kindergarten Cop is great. Twins is great. Dave, have you ever seen Dave?
No.
With Kevin Kline and Sigourney Weaver. Very fun, very good. Stripes, I mentioned Stripes before. I love Stripes.
I had that VHS, actually, Stripes.
That's another good classic Bill Murray role. But yeah, it's the best. I'm surprised, given how much of a mess it sounded like it was to produce and to make. It turns out perfectly, and especially for a high concept comedy, because most times those don't work. So the marketing material for the movie, this thing that I want to mention before I forget. I think mainly at first was just the No Ghost logo, and that was it. No title or anything. Even the original one sheet didn't say Ghostbusters on it. The one that I found was, it just had the No Ghost logo on it, and it said "Coming to Save the World this summer," but that was it. It doesn't have a title, nothing. And do you remember at Comic-Con there was the booth with the guy that has all the old movie posters?
Yeah, yes, of course.
God, one year I was there. He does the thing where someone wants to see something, so he just kind of starts slowly flipping through the posters.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw he had the original one sheet for Ghostbusters, and I didn't stop him because I wasn't the one that was getting him to go through, and I figured, well, I'll let him flip through all these others because I'll just, I'll point out the multiple ones that I want. And he had the original one sheet that was just the Ghost logo on black that said "Coming to Save the World this summer," and I wanted it so badly, and I didn't stop him there. And by the time he got the end and, was helping the other guy get whatever poster he wanted, I said, "Hey man, can you go back and find me that Ghostbusters poster? I want that." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going through." He had to flip through like 500 pages to find it again. And he wouldn't go through it again for me. So I was really fucking pissed off, and I didn't get that poster. And to this day, I'm like real sore about it still. I have a reproduction of, like, on a smaller scale of that same poster.
Uh-huh.
But it's the original one sheet, which is what I really wanted.
Why didn't he do it for you, man? What?
I don't know. I was kind of pissed off about that. It was like, dude, I want to buy it, so flip through it.
So you can't do it yourself, obviously?
No, because they're all old, and they're in the plastic sleeves. He kind of has to do it.
Huh.
I don't know what his rationale was besides he didn't want to flip through everything again. But it's kind of like, dude, I'm standing here, I'm asking, I'm telling you I want it, like I'll pay whatever it costs. You can make no money by refusing to flip through the posters again, or you can make, the $40 or $50 or whatever it is by me buying that poster if you find it for me. So I never got that one sheet. I just have like the downsized replica of it. But I really want the original one sheet for the movie with just the logo. Oh man, like I said, this is one of my favorite movies. I'm so happy to be able to talk about it. I just hope that it was entertaining. Thank you for letting me come on. I really appreciate it, man. I hope you had a good time talking about this movie.
Yeah, no. It's always fun talking about, the classics, and there's no doubt that this is one of them. And I'm happy to do it for you. If you're stumbling upon this podcast, we operate out of San Diego, and you can find us, Drop the Mic, on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Stitcher, Sods, all that good stuff. Check us out if if you don't know who we are yet. We would really appreciate it. If you're feeling generous, give us a 5-star rating and a positive review. That would be much appreciated. And just thank you to all our listeners out there, anybody who takes the time to sit through all these episodes. This is, why we do it. And we hope you're having fun listening to us, talk about various films and things in pop culture. And then also Anaris wanted me to announce that next week we are going to discuss, I think it's from 2002, a little film called Spun. Has a good cast. I've seen it once, but to be honest, I don't remember too much about it. So that's coming next week. But it's got Mina Savari, the late Brittany Murphy, John Leguizamo, Jason Schwartzman, Mickey Rourke. So there's no
Mickey Rourke before his comeback.
Yeah, before The Wrestler, right?
Even that was even before, like Sin City and a couple of times, those two Tony Scott movies he's in. Domino and Man on Fire. That was the other one. He's in Man on Fire. It sounds familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
It was done by Jonas Akerlund, if you know who that is. He did he hasn't done too much stuff, but the more recent film he did was that Lords of Chaos.
That black metal movie, right?
Yeah. That he did for...
I think he's like a video director, like a music video director. That's